Hey guys, it is none other than Count Lazuli here, back again once again with none other than Phil from 8livesstudios. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm here to tickle your tum-tums.
Good. I think we all need a bit of tum-tum tickling once in a while. That
As long as
sounded
it's not
super
from
weird.
Elmo.
Sorry?
As long as it's not from Elmo.
Well, I can tell you're already excited for this.
Oh,
Good. So,
I'm more excited than a countryman loving jambalaya.
So what are we on? This is the 4th episode, and it's been a few, 2 or 3 months since the announcement of Metroid Dread, and already it's right around the corner. Just a few weeks away, and we're finally going to have the 19-year, anticipated sequel to Metroid Fusion. We're gonna continue and supposedly conclude the Metroid story. Holy shit. Okay. Alright, are you ready
That's
for
fine.
this?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so the first thing I have to show here is something interesting that a person pointed out on the Metroid group on Facebook. I never noticed this, and these are based on clips from the previous trailer we took a look at. So,
Alright.
notice this here. I never realized this until the guy on Facebook pointed this out. So, both the elevator entrance and the Chozo warrior are like clean armored and everything at first. But then when Samus encounters the Chozo and fights, the Chozo uses his giant arm cannon to blast the door behind Samus and does all this damage, including this damage on the left eye. And then, of course, Samus later ends up shooting a super missile right at this guy's face, and on the same eye gets that damage. Now, I think this is just symbolic, but I still love this little detail that it's just such a small thing that you would never think about, but it's there. What do you think?
I gotta be honest, I do think the symbolism part does, like it does fit. Had me thinking though, like during the sequence of that showing on the trailers, that if this guy could take a super missile to the face, yeah, I think you need to not take the guy lightly. But it does seem like, well, with the armor resemblance of the elevator in the Chozo, it does seem like maybe this guy was supposed to probably built this place in his image.
And I was thinking the same thing, because one thing in particular about this upcoming game, and I've wanted this for a long time, is a more gothic and regal take on the Chozo. We've seen so much of the ancient stone architecture and Egyptian inspiration, but this is the first game where we're kind of getting almost a Fire Emblem environment to it in some areas, and particularly here with this low saturation, very gloomy looking environment. And as you said, I thought maybe this guy rules ZDR or commands it on some level. So in a way, by not literally but more symbolically, by attacking him, you're attacking his fortress. That's what I'm getting out of this.
It's funny because you would probably have to think about how long they would have been here. But
Yeah.
then you'd also have to think about, was there anyone here before them?
Yeah, it does make you think, like, what is ZDR to the Chozo? Because we don't really know what ZDR is about yet.
Though it could be like another experimental facility because, well, we got confirmed on something coming back in one of the trailers.
we'll be talking about more of that too tonight. Yeah, it's funny. I never really expected to see much of something like this in Metroid, and this is more associated with the previous trailer than the content we're talking about today. But I just thought this was a detail that deserved more attention. You know, I respect this little thing. So that's
It
all
is
I have.
definitely a good detail.
That's all I have for this little part here. I'm ready to get into the real meat and bone of the overview trailer and the newest teaser. All right, so first off, we see a somewhat familiar form of transportation where Samus gets aboard this Chozo train and it, I guess, brings her to some other destination. And I love this because it reminds me of Metroid Prime 3 on the Pirate Homeworld. They had a train like this too.
Okay, okay. I can see that, and I'm sorry, but I have to point this out.
Yeah.
Why is there gotta be a phallic looking switch right at the corner?
Oh God! I could see. I could have. We could have done this whole video, and I would have never known if you just didn't say anything. But you did.
Like,
Now I
the
see it.
first thing I noticed was the pink switch. It was the
That's
brightest thing on there.
that's the first. That's. Uh.
I'm so sorry.
You
I was
just.
looking around at the photo and then boom, pink.
Uh,
Oh God.
oh, we're off to a good start. We're off to a good start.
Great start. Oh Jesus
Uh,
Christ. Oh, anyway, yeah.
All right. Well,
Which I don't know. Maybe that's like
br-
part of the.
maybe this is more of that symbolism we were looking at earlier. I don't know.
I mean, aliens are weird.
I mean, hey, H.R. Giger, which inspired Alien and Alien inspired Metroid, maybe it's coming full circle.
About
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because H.R. Giger, he had a bit of a sexual thing in his art.
That's the truth.
Oh man, if any of my family watches this video, I'm so sorry, but we got to go all the way with this.
Yeah, and Lazuli's family. I'm sorry for bringing it up, but sometimes you gotta acknowledge the detail, even if it's weird.
They probably won't see it, but you never know. But yeah, the train. Do you remember in Metroid Prime 3, the Pirate Homeworld? There was this transit system that it basically served as like a fast travel point for across the planet.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I think it had to be one of the only fast travel systems I've seen that wasn't like your standard elevator.
Like, teleporters are cool, and we are actually getting more teleporters in this game, by the way.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I do prefer the dynamic fast travels, like the trains or Skytown Alicia's. They had like there was like this big cup that you walked into, and it ziplined you.
Yeah.
It was like a gondola or something.
No, because this is something like like this transit. This actually makes a little bit more sense. Because if you look back at like Prime 1 and Prime 2, how the frick did it even work?
How did it work?
I will go. I'm up in one area. You just take an elevator down, and then on the map it shows you're like several miles away in the southwest direction. Like, how did that even work?
Now that you mention it, I just imagine Samus in one of these transit systems, like pulling a lever, and then the sudden speed like slams her to the back of the cockpit or something. Because it just goes at such a ridiculous speed. Did you ever see that Simpsons episode, Marge versus the Monorail?
Oh God.
Maybe that's what it's like when Samus enters one of these things.
It could be. I mean,
no, I'm just really glad to see more of this dynamic cinematic fast travel stuff going around. Because like loading screens by nature are something you just want to get over. But when they make them visually entertaining like they do in Metroid, that's that's when I just have more appreciation for it.
Oh yeah.
And we're still on the subject of maps, so I want to get to the actual map here, because this is something I really want to talk about. Look how meaty this map is so far. This...
I will say it definitely looks classic.
Now, this here is... I don't have the full screenshot here for all these, like the top is kind of cut out, but it says Arteria, which is this is the first region in the game, right here. And it's already looking huge, and these past couple of weeks I've been playing some Super Metroid, and this here looks far more squiggly. A lot more compact. And I'm excited. This looks like so much fun to explore.
It definitely does.
And for a Metroid map, there's a lot to look at here. I don't know what like 80% of the symbols are. I'm seeing a bunch of yellow rooms. Variety of symbols.
Yeah, these definitely look like. Now let's see. They have these little yellow shaded areas, so might be either supply rooms or safe rooms. The one on the far right with the hand gesture, that one
I see it
sure
too.
of.
Now,
Yeah.
here's what I'm thinking. Now, I'm going to safely assume that the green is probably the explored territory. I think. Or maybe it's the blue. But then there's some white rooms. I don't know if those are E.M.M.I zones. Or if the green is the E.M.M.I zone. In which case, if the green's the E.M.M.I zone, that's scarily huge.
Yeah.
So, I don't know yet.
Hmm.
I hope the E.M.M.I zone branches across different areas of a map. I hope the E.M.M.I zone isn't just like one chunk of a region, otherwise you're probably going to be able to find ways around it most of the time. Or ignore it a lot of the time. But if they find a way to make an E.M.M.I zone accessible, or force you to access it through different parts of a region, then I think that just increases the E.M.M.I experience, but without overdoing it. So, for example, let's just say there's a corridor on the far right of Arteria, but to go through that corridor, you have to enter an E.M.M.I zone, and you can go past that E.M.M.I zone. But if you want to go even further, sooner or later, you're going to have to find yourself back in the E.M.M.I zone. As opposed to just having one chunk of E.M.M.I privatized into this one corner of the region. Are you following?
Yeah, I get you.
I'm not sure if I'm explaining that too well. If I had like a piece of paper and a pencil, I feel like I'd explain it a little better.
No, I get you. I get you.
I'm seeing some power-ups. I see a couple missile expansions, I think.
Yeah.
Or missile stations. So I read up on the newest Dread report. There's replenishing stations for both health and ammo. But they're the same. Like, they're not separate like they used to be.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Then.
Yeah. Also, interesting fact, the map rooms and the atom rooms are going to serve as save stations as well.
Atom rooms. Oh, Jesus.
Which, by the way, I just want to say, Metroid Dread has like the most beautiful save rooms in any Metroid game.
Oh, yeah. Up.
And again, on the subject of maps, I kept telling myself, like, alright, so we're getting a new Norfair, we're getting a new Brinstar, and we're getting a new Meridia. Are we getting a new, like, Phendrana Drift / Cryosphere type of place? And, yes, we are. We are. We're getting another ice zone. Which, I mean, okay, fine. If it's fun, if it's atmospheric, I'll take it. I just wish they'd Do a little more new.
Oh, well, I'm always up for anything with ice or snow because you rarely get to see that in games. You know, in your favorite games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was so happy when they put something like that in Doom Eternal.
Yep. Alright, now I've been saying that ZDR reminds me of like a Zebus clone, but I think I should take that back. It feels a little bit more like a Talon 4, because it has all those signature environments, but it also has the ice zone, and it has a few unique areas too, such as the... I hesitate to call them Chozo Ruins, because I feel like that's an understatement. It's more like a Chozo Fortress. And then Arteria feels pretty original to me. To me, at least.
I get you.
Now, I'm wondering, is this new ice environment going to be more along the lines of Phendrana Drifts, where it's this full-on glacial, frozen cavern environment, or is it going to be more like a space station that's been frosted up, as we see here? What do you think?
Judging by how it looks. To be honest, I'm gonna go on the deep end here and say this could be like how it was on the station above SR388, where it just seemed like a giant freezer.
The, what's it called, the BSL?
Yeah, the BSL station.
A biological space laboratory. Was that what it stood for?
I believe so. It's
I
been
can-
it's been a long time since I played Fusion.
Here, I'll look it up right now. Metroid BSL. It is the Biologic Space Laboratories Research Station.
Alright.
So BSLRS, I guess, is what it would really be.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it could probably be another freezer, or it could be something. Well, because this is supposed to be, because this mostly looks mechanical. It doesn't look like the ice is, well.
I don't know why I like that you're calling it a freezer. Just one big freezer.
I mean, if I see a frozen area and it's all mechanical, I just call it freezer. I mean, that's basically what it is.
I'm going to adopt that now. I'm just going to call it a freezer. I'm calling it a freezer from now on. If it's
freezer sector.
If it's Phendrana Drifts, then it's just snow cones and fun. But if it's the cryosphere, if it's ever the cryosphere, it's the freezer. Now, by the way, this particular structure here in the background, I saw something like this in one of the E.M.M.I zones during the Treehouse gameplay. So I'm wondering, could this be connected to an E.M.M.I zone? Maybe it's deactivated or something? I'm not too sure. I think it's possible.
Well, I hope they don't do that thing where when you defeated E.M.M.I with like certain abilities, it ends up setting the whole sector into like a certain kind of blaze.
Actually, that would be interesting, because I know we can kill E.M.M.I if we have the Omega Cannon.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting if by killing an E.M.M.I, you create some kind of aftermath in the environment. The same way in Metroid Prime 3, when you destroyed a Leviathan, it released these weird, like, Leviathan parasite cells across the planet, and they were just really frustrating to kill.
Oh.
You remember what I'm talking about?
I remember that now.
What were they called?
Well, I was just saying, like, just in case if they go with like the God of War effect. Because I don't know if you've ever played it or seen it. But okay, well, spoiler for anyone who hasn't played God of War 3, which I don't know how you couldn't, or at least watch it. Okay, so basically when you killed one of the gods of Greek mythology, it sets off like certain chain of events. like if you kill Poseidon, you basically flooded Greece. If you killed Hades, you basically unleashed hell on Earth.
I didn't play God of War 3, but I definitely saw a lot of gameplay. And yes, I do
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just hope they don't really do that where, okay, this Emmy got killed, set this area to Overlord, whoops, not Overlord,
Overlord.
to Over,
To Overlord.
get the sect to Overlord. Set it to overload with this certain element, like say this one is frozen because you killed the Emmy, and this one because it did ice damage. There's like another Emmy where like the speed one, it's got a little bit of electricity to it. So hey, just set electricity to a certain point so it ends up cutting off your movement.
It reminds me of there was going to be like a Metroid Prime 1.5 where they were going to change up what abilities you could use depending where you were. Do you remember reading about that?
I do. I think I even saw screenshots.
Oh yeah, I saw plenty of concept art for it.
Wasn't there like an original? Like, okay, I think we're getting off topic, but because now I was about to go deep into like the old Metroid Prime 1 content, but I'll save that for later.
We should maybe have another. We should maybe do a video on that sometime. The canceled Metroid Prime game.
That could work. I have to do more research on it though, because dude, it's been a while since I read it.
So, I digress. Getting back on track to where I was, I think it would be interesting if, like, let's say by killing a certain Emmy in a certain region, maybe the destruction of that Emmy will cause something like a light shortage. So you'll actually have to work with like a lights and shadows effect for the rest of that region once the Emmy's destroyed. Because maybe there's like a power surge when you killed the central unit. Or maybe the Emmy was creating EMP fields. So when you destroy the Emmy, these more violent creatures come out of the dark and start exploring the area. Kind of like the Chozo ghosts from Metroid Prime 1. Or those goddamn dark pirate commandos from Prime 2, which took like 40 super missiles to kill. And you couldn't leave until you killed them.
40 super, Jesus Christ, dude!
Well,
did you play it on the hardest difficulty?
Well, they didn't. Well, they weren't like literally 40 super missiles.
Yeah, it just took most of your ammo.
I think they were. Oh man, I can't remember. Was it like 10 Annihilator charge beams or something?
Oh,
something like that. They took so many hits. But again, I guess we're getting a freezer for Metroid Dread. Unless they have another Christmas Wonderland like the Fendrata Drifts and a bunch of she-goths coming after you.
Hey, can I just acknowledge that those were the most annoying thing? Actually, no, the freaking mother was the annoying one.
The adult she-goth was brutal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we gonna do here? Oh, let's just put some Godzilla spikes on his back so it can absorb most of your beam powers.
That's right. These guys here, I find are interesting because, all right, so those cube things, I'm almost certain those are going to be what the Aeon abilities look like. So what's interesting is this. The first Aeon ability we saw, the Phantom Cloak, in order to get that, you had to defeat the first boss, Corpious, which has been shown off in the Treehouse gameplay. But here, what seem to be more Aeon abilities we see in these Chozo statues, and they don't look like the rest of the ones we've been seeing. These things are far more dynamic and three-dimensional. I am hoping, it probably won't be the case, but I'm sort of hoping these are going to be like Terizo fights, where maybe you have to fight them to earn the Aeon. But then again, it also makes me wonder why are there, two Chozo statues holding these Aeon abilities if the first Aeon ability was a boss fight. unless we're gonna earn Aeon in different ways. Because if you, right, you didn't play Samus Returns, but the way you earned them in that game is you literally found them with these, so there were these giant Chozo heads, these big metal Chozo heads. You turn into a morph ball, and the tongue would swallow you through and basically shit you out the back of its head. And that's how you got the Aeon ability.
What in the hell?
It sounds so weird, but if you were to see it in game, it'd be a little cooler.
Nintendo, come on, man.
It's one of those, like, if you see it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. But, yeah, better seen than heard.
God. Yeah, yeah, now I gotta watch it after this. But, I think, well, I don't think they're going to be easily granted. I think either two things. One, you got to go through some trial for it, or two, you got to fight them for it, which that would probably be the most acceptable Metroid way for something like this.
Like, if you look at the one on the right, like the more greenish one, I saw like an extended clip of this thing, so I know that it's carrying the sort of scan pulse with it. And just the way it's kneeling down, because that's what it's doing in the picture, if you look carefully. I almost hope this thing is just going to stand up and become a boss fight. Because I kind of want to fight whatever that statue is. But I don't know if that will be the case. These things just look to me like they're meant to be mobile.
Yeah, I'm definitely counting on that being mobile.
Yep. And then the blue one, you know, that one's in more of like a waterfall environment, so I guess maybe these are two different regions. Probably if there are different Aeon abilities. I don't know if we're still going to have 4 abilities, or if they're going to extend that. Because in Samus Returns, we had 4. We had the Scan Pulse, we had like this slow down time mechanic, an invulnerability shield, and a rapid fire gun. In this one, the Scan Pulse is coming back. We're getting a dash system and a cloaking ability. I hope they make some improvements to the Scan Pulse in this game. They were given a different name. I don't remember what it was, but I hope it's going to be a little different. Because I think by just having a pulse that fires out and shows where everything is, I feel like it gets rid of a bit of the player agency. I think it'd be more interesting if the pulse stayed on you and remained active, but wherever you moved around, it followed with you. Because that would still incentivize a level of searching. I think that'd be more interesting than just having a pulse shoot out.
Right.
What do you think?
Oh.
I know it's probably a little tricky because I know you didn't play Samus Returns.
Well, really the only vision I'm familiar with that has any pulsing to it is the Echo Visor from 2.
I remember that. I don't remember using it too much though.
But yeah, it was definitely something. But I feel like, well, as you said, I haven't played Samus Returns, so I'm a bit in the dark about it. But I guess if they improve upon the last design, that would probably be better.
Yeah, I hope so. I just hope there's more player agency to it is all.
You're right.
You know, I just don't think it's exploring when you just show a player where everything is. You know? Okay, so we've seen this before, but I just still wanted to show it again, just to remind everyone how brutal this game is gonna be. And this is Nintendo.
She got stabbed in the throat.
Yep.
Uh,
I'm sure some people are going to be turned on to this. Yes, I'm bringing the phallic joke back.
you nasty bastards.
Yep. Nasty as hell. Yeah, this is one way to conduct research. You think the animals that get caught by an E.M.M.I are in like severe pain, or like they put in anesthesia so don't freak out the animal? You'd
Yeah.
think. You know, it doesn't seem like very safe research to like just
Not.
stab a wild monster.
Yeah. No lie. Uh, I think I would have been really more freaked out if he stabbed him right through the face, like right through the visor. You just see the
Yeah.
visor break. Like, no.
Imagine that death screen in Metroid Prime style.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the thing. These death screens of the E.M.M.I remind me a lot of the Metroid Prime ones, where you like see the X-ray of like the heart slowly dying. Like Metroid Prime had the darkest death screens, and
oh yeah.
this is the closest to that we've got in the 2D series. Do you remember when it was just like Samus's suit exploded and she went, ah, and then it was like, game over, better restart. that was my interpretation of Samus's death cry. That's what she sounded like in Super Metroid.
Y'all watching this heard that, right? Y'all watching this heard that, right? Ah!
That was the old 8-bit Metroid death cry in Super Metroid. And they added it back in Samus Returns when you died. And then Metroid Prime's death scream was just terrifying. And if you watched the trailer we're discussing right now, Samus has like a Super Saiyan scream. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I remember.
I can't help but imagine Samus getting like the golden hair, sticking up as she like just beats the living tar out of this Darth Chozo looking guy. Yep, that was my Samus death impression. I've left a bunch of people cringing now. So, yeah, I apologize for that. Not my finest moment. Alright. Here's the new E.M.M.I. And I guess this one is an ice E.M.M.I, based on what we're seeing here.
I knew it.
Okay, this one seems even, like, the gentle, like, bubblegum blue looking colors is not very intimidating, but what it can do seems pretty terrifying. So, not only is this thing going to chase you like other E.M.M.I, but it can freeze you with its radar system, and then smash through you as it traverses. Or at least I think it's going to smash through you. It does it to whatever this thing is here.
Yeah, well, I think, well, because let's see, as far as I know, we only seen one death animation for the E.M.M.I. So,
What do you mean, like Samus getting killed by the E.M.M.I?
yeah.
Oh no,
So,
actually there are multiple variants on the kill scene.
oh,
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, there's different ones. One version is where it pins Samus to the ground by her chest and then stabs her. But then there's another version where Samus tries to aim with her arm cannon, like grabs her arm and moves that out of the way and then stabs her. So there's different variants on the takedown. One version, if you're in the air and the E.M.M.I touches you, the cutscene shows you dropping down in front of the E.M.M.I, which seems like the worst move Samus could do.
Jesus.
It's probably like a fuck that I quit from Samus. You know, all right, E.M.M.I, take me. Now, I'm just wondering how we're going to avoid this one. Maybe it's a little slower? Because I imagine there's going to be like a freeze you over the time situation. Maybe you'll need the gravity suit? No, never mind. Gravity suit wouldn't affect that. That's more for like water. Water and space. Maybe you'll need the speed booster. Plasma beam. I don't know if the plasma beam's coming back. They didn't. Maybe.
Well,
We saw
as
the
far
green.
as I've known, they used to, yeah, I think that's probably what the plasma beam is now. I mean,
have you noticed that out of all the abilities they've been showing, they haven't really been talking about the beam weapons?
that is right.
I find that a little weird, but alright. You know, I'm ready to be surprised if that's the case. Alright, this next one here is really interesting. So, we got a purple E.M.M.I, and I like to joke that the purple E.M.M.I is, like, Ridley wanted to come into Metroid Dread, but they wouldn't let him because they were already letting Kraid in. So he snuck in by pretending to be an E.M.M.I, and that this is actually Ridley. He just likes purple a lot. That's my running joke. Now,
it could definitely fit well.
Now the reason why I paired these two screenshots together is these are the same scene. We see this E.M.M.I in front of Samus, but it's totally shut down. And then Samus turns around to find what I'm calling the good Chozo. So, what are the implications of this guy's abilities? Can he shut down these E.M.M.I to help Samus? This is the same guy we saw in the first trailer who was at the terminal. So was he shutting these guys down? Is he just screwing with Samus with the E.M.M.I? You know, if this is his doing, then is he partially responsible for taking control of the E.M.M.I? I don't know.
At this point, it's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this to me?
Or maybe the evil Chozo took control of them, because he does. I mean, if the other Chozo are his soldiers, according to the Dread report, some of those Chozo are robots, so he has robot soldiers with them. So maybe by extension, the evil Chozo general took control of the E.M.M.I, but then the survivor of his SR-388 attack, the golden guy here, was like, no sir, fuck you, E.M.M.I are going bye-bye. So it's like one guy takes control of them, and then the other one's like, reverse card and shuts them down. I don't know.
I think that's into question now.
I think this is one of the inner details of the story that we probably don't want to be spoiled on. Like this here, I think, is pretty spoiler territory, to be honest. Which is why I'm hoping this is probably going to be our last video until the actual release. Yeah, I just, please, Nintendo, no more trailers. Let this be the end.
If you make another trailer, just please tell us about the beam weapon.
Yes.
We'll
don't
or give us more detail on, what her suit is, because I mean, look, both of us already know what it is, but most people might not, because there's a lot of people. I've noticed a lot of people's reactions to it. They don't notice that it's really a sequel to Fusion. They don't notice that that's really the Fusion suit upgraded.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. And yeah, for anyone watching, for context, Samus had her fully upgraded suit by the end of Super Metroid, or Metroid 3, I should call it.
No, Metroid 4.
Metroid 3 is Super Metroid.
Wait, whoops.
Yeah. Metroid Fusion is Metroid 4.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, no worries.
No, you cut out right before you said it. So.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, on my end, you went cut out.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, then in Metroid 4, aka Fusion, that's when Samus gets attacked by the X-Parasite, and a bunch of her upgrades go bye-bye, including her main suit, and she gets this substitute called a Fusion suit. She plays throughout the game, gets a bunch of new upgrades, and then eventually comes across this evil parasite mimic of her, wearing her old armor. By the end of the game, she fuses with the parasite, restoring her old power, but still somewhat changed. Like, she still has the fusion suit format, but the color scheme of her original suit is back. And now in Metroid Dread, I'm speculating as a result of that transformation, her suit is reverting back to its original mechanical form. And this is that transition. But then Darth Chozo comes in and takes all of her upgrades, which puts her in that blue suit that we see. And then we have to get back those upgrades. I don't think Samus's suit state transformation process has ever been more convoluted in the Metroid series than now. Because I feel like I just rambled like a madman.
You know, that's always been a thing about the Metroid games. I could understand the concept at times, but it's like it gets annoying. Like, this girl can't keep track of anything.
No. I mean, to be fair, she tried to hold on to her purse in this case, but Darth.
Yeah, at least in this case, she tried to hold on to it. Metroid 4, Metroid Fusion, that wasn't really her fault. It was more like, hey, I got blown up because the X-Parasites were taking over my body, so I gotta get a whole new suit and start from scratch. But it's just like, okay, so Super Metroid. I could understand, hey, have some upgrades from the last one. No. None at all. And then if you go to the Prime series, it's the same god dang thing. It's like, I have my abilities. I got all of them by the end of this one. I only had a few of them in Metroid Prime 2. Oh, I get trapped in the Dark Realm. I shoot them all out and let the Dark Ing take him.
I did like what they did in Prime 2 with the Aang all taking her abilities, because then you actually got to go and fight the item guardians, and you got to see how they played off those abilities they stole. So I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, it was really cool, but it also proves my point. Like, she cannot keep track of her crap.
Yeah. Oh man, I was gonna say something else. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yeah. Okay, so Darth Chozo, bad guy with the big gun. In the trailer, he holds Samus by the throat and is going to shoot her with his arm cannon. I didn't know what he said at the time, but apparently what he said was Adar Sen Olmen. And someone put that in Google Translate, so it could be wrong, but they put it in Google Translate.
Wait a minute. Oh, hold on a second. What we got the Chozo language on Google Translate?
Apparently it's on Google Translate.
Oh
okay,
God.
no, you want funny? I'll tell. No, here's the kicker. All right. So the Chozo are bird people, right?
I'm gonna look this up.
They're bird people. You put in Google Translate. You translate it to Turkish. The language of Turkey. Like I know that's I know that's a language in a country, whatever. Turkey. Wait, sorry. Oh, I feel so dumb. Turkey's a country, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Man, I'm gonna get a bunch of pissed off people going, "No shit, it's a country." Um, but I don't know. I just love the fact that you can translate the Chozo language to the language of Turkey. There's just the irony in that. But here's the weird part. According to Google Translate, at least, Adar Sen Olman in Turkish means it's okay to be you. So this guy supposedly has Samus pinned up in his grasp and is about to blast her to the next galaxy and tells her it's okay to be you. So I'm wondering if that's him saying, you know, you're no Chozo, you're just a little girl and I'm taking all your powers away. It's okay to be you, just a human. That's what I was thinking, maybe. You have any thoughts on that?
Well, I can definitely say that it's definitely interesting how I guess we can basically consider the Chozo language Turkish. Also, if you search up what he said and then go on the images, you get a lot of mixed match images. Nothing nasty, but good. Okay, so like there's one where we got the screenshot of him holding up Samus and she's reaching out to him. We got another where it's just a bunch of weird stuff here. It's on a Reddit. Great. There's a Metroid Dread Reddit apparently.
Of course there is.
I guess of course it's just called the Metroid. Oh wait.
The Metroid Dread.
Metroid, pretty much. What is this image? Okay, so basically, well, it's just saying a whole bunch of nonsense, but it's like a whole bunch of nonsense on one side, but on the other, it's just showing a whole bunch of close-ups of Samus's face while she's wearing the helmet. Like, we got one from Fusion, got one that's in Dread, we got one that's of the SAX in Dread.
Oh, okay.
And got one of Dark Samus when she's in that supernatural bird form.
Oh, that was so cool.
In 3, yeah. And the first one is just weird. It looks like it's an old Japanese cartoon, which I think that's the premise. I guess that's how they portrayed her back then. It's like they had the old classic Metroid Prime, or not Metroid Prime, whoops. The old classic, the old classic, like the very first Metroid suit on her. But through her visor, they just got like the big old goofy eyes.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move on to the next slide here because this had some questions from me. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if you remember, but in a bit of the earlier promotional material, we saw these big crab-looking creatures. They were like a reddish pink in color. Do you remember those guys?
It might have been very brief, because I think at this point I was noticing Samus, mostly.
Alright, hold on.
Ooh.
Let me see if I can send you a picture.
Yeah, because honestly, through some of these trailers, I have like rewatched it a couple times to see the environment and then to see Samus and the abilities, because I think, this was the video where... No, I think it was the last one where I saw the gravity suit and how it looked. And Shabalok sent me a friend request on. But yeah, because if I remember correctly, because last video we were talking about the design of the gravity suit.
All right, here I'm gonna send this to you here, and you tell me if that first creature looks familiar. Upper left.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so this looks like it might be an adult version of it.
That's what I was wondering. I hope that what they don't do is start reskinning a bunch of enemies for new regions. If you want to do that with 1 or 2 creatures, fine. Metroid Prime did that with War Wasps and Beetles. But I don't want to see, I don't want what Samus Returns did, where they had the same creatures throughout the entire game, just with different color palettes. I want to see, I want every region to have their own sort of mob of enemies, for the most part. Now this one here is huge in comparison. And if you look, it looks as if the door behind Samus is locked, maybe? So maybe this is like a mini-boss, perhaps?
Could be.
Maybe this is like what the plated beetle was to the Beetles, or the She-Goth to the baby She-Goth in Prime 1.
Definitely will say that this does seem like it's further in the game.
Considering the health, yeah.
Yeah, the health, the beam, the suit, which obviously has gravity.
And by the way, as you mentioned earlier, plasma beam, right there.
Yeah. Because that's one thing I noticed that they do with any Metroid game that's not involved with Retro Studios. They always have the plasma beam green, whereas like in the Prime games, it was like
it's like straight fire.
Yeah, it's like straight fire.
Yeah.
But I think because the only green beam they really had in the Prime series was the quote-unquote Nova beam.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. In the mainline Metroid games, the plasma beam is green. And then in Prime 3, it's like, no. It's like a red-orange because it's fire. Here's a new gun, the Nova beam. It's green. I thought that was kind of funny. What was the power of the Nova beam again? It can shoot through certain walls when you use a visor.
It can shoot through a certain material. It was basically the plasma beam. It was just like extremely upgraded, basically.
Yeah, I wish the Nova beam had a more unique property in combat, but I have to admit, combining that thing with the X-ray visor was a really powerful tool.
Oh yeah. Heck, oh yeah, because it also did that. I forgot about that. He shoot an enemy in a certain vital area, it actually explode. But yeah, because there was also, well, here's one thing. It's just like, I get that they got like a set, like area have a set unique look for like what each beam changes the arm cannon to look like, but I was kind of expecting them to go with something a little bit different than just the wave beam design.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious if they're gonna bring back like wave beam or something like that in this. I know they're not gonna bring back the ice beam because we have ice missiles now.
Okay.
Which I thought was an interesting.
Well, they could. I mean, after all, we got the ice beam at the ending of Fusion.
Did we?
Yeah, when you absorbed the SAX parasite, it gave you back the ice beam.
With the original suit, was it?
Yeah, gave you back like the full suit, the full Omega suit. Gave you back the.
Okay, I mean, I guess that's for the final boss, though, right?
Yeah, because like the final boss was just basically
I mean, does it count that much as an upgrade, though? I wouldn't consider the Phazon beam at the end of Prime 1 as an upgrade. That was more of a boss mechanic.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. It's just that I know, like, it seems like they could set up for it.
They could.
I mean, oh, excuse me. I mean, they could easily set up for it. Because there would be some areas I would suggest that they probably have something that requires the need of the ice beam, but then again, like you said, we're getting ice missiles, so they could just use that.
They could. I'm not sure. Alright. I don't know what on earth this thing is, man. I couldn't tell you.
Oh.
I don't know. Like I saw it in the trailer, and it was just this shaking,
New,
roaring water thing.
new species of Metroids confirmed.
I remember one person saying they thought it was Phantoon, which my gut says no, probably not. I mean, I'm glad we're getting a new water boss. It's not something we often get. No, wait,
Oh yeah.
I'm wrong. I take it back. We do get quite a few. We had Saris, we had Dragon, and what?
Oh yeah.
The Alpha Blog from Prime 2. We also had.
He was really friendly.
He was. It's not like you had to restart an entire puzzle sequence when you died.
Yeah. Hey, at least he wasn't like the one. And yes, I'm calling this one out. He wasn't like the water boss from Majora's Mask.
I haven't played that. What was that boss like again?
It was a pain in the ass. Dude, I'm not kidding. That had to be the most aggravating boss fight of all. Like, you were in the middle of like this big water area, and he was swimming around. Sometimes he'll leap over you. The only way, and here's the thing, he dealt a lot of damage up close. The only way to beat him was that you had to get close to him. You had to actually transform into a Zora and swim after him.
What?
Okay, so the premise of Majora's Mask is that
You're dead.
you get
right? No?
not exactly. So you get God, I got something in my throat today. So the premise of Majora's Mask is that
Oh, it's the big fish thing, right?
yes, basically you get like the powers of different masks. Like when you first start the game, you chase after this Skull Kid who's got like this real magic mask, and he transforms you into a Deku Kid.
Okay.
Okay, so later on, you play a song, you actually get reverted out of that form, turn back to normal. But you end up getting a mask of that Deku Kid's face, so you can transform into the Deku Kid whenever you want. And the same thing can go for a Goron and a Zora. You just have to find like certain individuals that like, because let's see, the Goron mask you get from this one Goron warrior's grave, and the Zora mask you get from literally just a Zora who just beached up on a beach shore, who's actually about to die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Majora's Mask is a little bit more complex with its premise than Ocarina of Time was. I mean, Ocarina of Time was basically, you saved the princess, you travel to time, back and forth to uncover the mystery of how Ganondorf got there.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask is more...
Cursed?
Well, huh?
Cursed?
Actually, yeah. It's cursed. It's a lot more difficult than Ocarina of Time. It's... because you only get 3 days.
Oh, right, I heard there was like a...
Yeah,
like a countdown for the entire game.
Yes, but it's a good thing that everyone now knows that apparently if you play the Song of Time backwards, it slows time down.
You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?
God, stupid mask. Man.
I know enough about Zelda to know that.
That's from Majora's Mask.
I was the Metroid guy. My brother was the Zelda guy. That's how we worked. All right, yeah, I don't think I have anything to say about this creature, or what Z-Manzilla would call the space butthole.
Yeah, knowing Zilla, that's definitely something he would say.
All right, what do we got next? Okay, this piqued my interest. So here's the thing. I don't know what it's on, but whatever this creature is at the top, it has the same almost identical head to the first boss, Corpious, the scorpion thing, that gives you the cloaking ability. It has like an identical head except red eyes, some slug-looking body, and ridiculously long arms.
Yeah,
I do not
that's
know what
one
I'm
thing.
looking at.
It's definitely makes me think of a theory.
Of what?
Of a theory.
Oh, yep. I want to hear it.
You know how the Metroids can evolve to like these monstrous forms?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, I'm not wanting to go overboard with it, but what if the X-Parasites have developed to that?
Maybe.
Because you know how, like, it's just a big, like a what if kind of thing. But because we all seen like how Metroid can have, I mean, we've even seen the Queen Metroid.
Yeah.
Heck, they even get their genetic code rewritten by like something like Phazon. They could turn into something completely different. I mean, everyone's seen Metroid Prime, the Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that thing was messed up. It had like a human face,
Yeah,
which
like
was weird.
that's, yeah, and that's from a Metroid, so it's like
uh,
you
the
know, I mean,
the
and plus,
Go on.
if we're talking about this is like a Chozo facility, they could have had something stored down here, like they could have had maybe some remaining Metroid DNA stored down here themselves, and um, yeah, they could have probably done like maybe either created something new or cross spliced it with the X parasite.
Yep. Yep. I was thinking I had a bit of a simpler theory, but yours isn't out of the realm of possibility. Because I know that the Chozo are experimenting on something on ZDR. We saw a bunch of tanks with creatures in them in some of the clips. I was thinking, if this thing is so similar yet also so different from the first boss, maybe they're part of the same sort of genetic soup. Maybe they're Chozo experiments, but they're like two test subjects that started out the same but went in different ways. Like one grew a long tail and the other one grew these giant arms. So it's kind of like this is the biological sibling of what you fought in the first boss fight.
That's possible.
I know some games like to do that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I
the,
mean, there's been tons where they like to do that same kind of thing. You got two different traits of the same thing. Um,
Kind of makes me think of the like the Berserker Lord, Berserker Knight dynamic in Prime 3.
right.
Or heck, even Meta Ridley and Omega Ridley, I would count as one.
Oh yeah.
I remember one person was speculating that this was Crocomire, which seems like a long stretch to me. I don't think this is Crocomire. Doesn't have a lot of the signature appearances of it. One person thought this was the final boss, which I don't know about that. Doesn't look like
No,
it doesn't look like
I wouldn't
final
count
boss
that.
material to me. All right, what do we have next? Right. All right, we're actually reaching near the end of our episode here. I want to take a second look at Kraid. So first off, we got this really cool. It looks like maybe a counter takedown here, where we're in Kraid's mouth. I feel like we might pull a Ridley on him, or just fire some missiles down his throat. And then you look at the second screenshot, and he's got a new attack that he'd never had before. So Kraid had the weirdest abilities in a Metroid game. He had spikes he could fire out of his many belly buttons, and then he could literally fling his nails and regrow them. And now he seems to have a new ability where he shoots out a bunch of meatballs. So this gets me thinking.
Great.
So this gets me thinking. Is he gonna have a variety of other new abilities that we don't know of? Is he maybe gonna have like an acid spray, or he's gonna like shake the ground and it staggers us.
Honestly, it could be possible because honestly, I would be very curious to see how they would work the old mechanics for Kraid, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'd like to see how they'd make new, fresh ones, especially with this environment, since there's not really a lot of room.
Yeah. Yep. I can't wait for this boss fight. I cannot wait for the return of Kraid.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But really, I just want to know how he's back. I don't think it's a clone, personally. I feel like my gut says that Nintendo might be past the whole cloning classic monsters phase.
Yeah, because I'll be honest. This is my theory. Kraid couldn't have been like the only, one of his kind. So there had to be like more of him. So maybe this is a different one.
This could be another Kraid, but I feel like going with Occam's razor and saying it's just Kraid.
It's Kraid's twin brother, Crude.
Crude. Crude. It's the slightly different shade of green. Actually, now that I say that, it reminded me of this old YouTube comment I read. Someone came up with the title 50 Shades of Kraid.
Oh, no.
Maybe this is just the second shade, huh?
Oh, God.
Are you ready for the rest of the shades?
Oh,
Go play Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread in the terror bed with 50 Shades of Kraid.
No.
Oh, this is a cursed episode. Oh, man.
If you watch this, you have realized it was a cursed episode. By the moment you've come in, you're a cultured man.
The audience will be feeling the dread. Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on? By the way, Kraid is really packing the chins this time. I mean, I know
right?
Kraid's a big boy, but I think he let himself go a little extra here.
Thick.
Thick. You can't handle the Kraid thickness. And apparently he's into bondage too, according to this game.
Oh.
The jokes keep getting worse. You have any other cursed theories, or are we ready for the final shot?
Either I'm seeing something, or it's really out there, but it's just a blur. I noticed there's like a line of drool going down the side of his face.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I thought those... No, wait a minute. I think I see it. Are you looking at the first picture?
No, the second one. The bigger one.
I think that's scarring. That kind of looks like scarring to me.
Huh.
I mean, there's plenty of green drool coming out of his mouth.
That's just the vomit from those nasty food pellets he's puking up.
You know, as if this wasn't gross enough, I'm just gonna add a little extra gross. Those things he's shooting out look like something you could buy at like M&M meat shops. Like frozen escargot or something.
Almighty. Oh. Moving on.
Moving on. Alright. Final shot. Because I am genuinely curious. Why is Samus so angry here? I mean, first she goes Super Saiyan in her scream in the trailer. And then we see, you know, angry Samus here, which, by the way, someone pointed out that this is like the first time where she's like wearing like full-on like eyeliner. I don't know why, I just thought that was a funny detail. Like, Why is she wearing eyeliner?
Hey, let's just put that detail in there. She's wearing eyeliner.
I mean, she wasn't wearing eyeliner in the past. She wasn't.
Uh,
I mean, hey, it's not a complaint, but she's wearing it. Maybe it's so you see just how angry her eyes are. Maybe, or you know what, maybe she found out she was going to be in a game called Dread and thought she had to have a bit more of a goth look to her. I don't know. But
no, she's had eyeliner before.
She has? Really?
Yes.
Where?
Okay, so go to at least like look up an image of Metroid of Zero Suit Samus. Okay, so you'll see a shot of Samus in like one of the Super Smash Bros. Trailers when they introduced Ridley.
Oh,
Eyeliner.
I think I know it. Let me see. Okay, yeah, she does have eyeliner, but that's not. That's Smash Bros, isn't it?
Up and in 3.
Prime 3.
Yes. She has it in Prime 3. If you look really close, you can notice it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Huh.
And in 2.
And in 2. Wow, okay.
It's really Metroid Prime 1. She doesn't have any.
Man, so why does it stand out in this game? Like, really?
I guess because, you know, she's part Metroid now. I guess she's got to go with that dark, cold look.
You gotta... If you have Metroid DNA, therefore you gotta put on extra makeup. Alright, I mean, hey, you know, if that's what happens.
That also reminds me, we're gonna be hating the cold areas from now on in Metroid.
Right, yes. Oh boy. Oh god, that Ice Emmy's looking even worse now.
But, I mean, I'm not really questioning the anger. I mean, good grief, she looked pissed off most of the time in Prime 1.
She did. That's
the only
true.
time she didn't look pissed off is when she took off her helmet.
That's true. I remember in Prime 1, you'd just have that elevator sequence, and you'd see a close-up her visor, and she just looked like she wanted to crush a head. And
honestly, she didn't start looking like that till Ridley showed up.
True. Yeah.
Oh, but if we could really though just like make a comment here when it comes to the face. Let's be honest. Metroid Dread. This is like where she shows a lot more emotion than she has in previous games.
Yes, I really like that.
Series.
Yes.
Like in Prime 1, pissed off all the time until she took her helmet off. Prime 2, like you just mostly got a blank face most of the time until she took her helmet off. Well, there was some parts where she was angry, but that was just if she was in a fight with Dark Samus. Prime 3. They really didn't show that much, and that was like the one Prime series where you didn't have to wait till the ending to take her helmet off.
There was also a lot of body language in that game, especially with like the death of the other hunters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's
heck.
I mean, the game's not out yet, but I still just really want to give it to Mercury Steam for nailing how to tell a Metroid story.
Oh yeah.
With just like everything we've seen so far has just been visual storytelling. The only dialogue in game thus far has been the Atom AI and Darth Chozo talking Turkish apparently.
You know what? Shoot, I probably won't save it for later, but I've been noticing. I look back at the Metroid Prime games and I just thought to myself, you know what? I think it is good detail how they show her face in the reflections.
Yes.
Especially with Prime 1. I mean, this was ahead of its time.
It was. It was. With this scene, I got a few ideas. I'm wondering if maybe this scene takes place when Samus is looking at the mural and she sees the story of Darth Chozo but having massacred all the researchers and scientists before sending off his troops. Like, maybe Samus is looking at this on the wall, understands it, and is furious at what happened. Or maybe, maybe this is later in game, where, I don't know, maybe she has like a sort of friendship with Golden Guy, and then Darth Chozo like claps his cheeks and throws him in his grave, and Samus is super pissed. I don't know. Yeah. What?
Really?
What?
Claps his cheeks.
Man, do you know that term?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I was gonna have to explain it to other people.
I am well experienced in the field.
Okay. In the field. In the field. Okay. So you have some stories then.
None for YouTube, because you know how temperamental they could be.
Yeah, I'm just saying, maybe the Chozo survivor is not so surviving later in game.
Yeah.
It's
a theory.
It's a theory. All right. I think that's all I have. Do you have any other thoughts before we end this evening?
I have a thought, and it occurs to that power.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I'm really like, I'm stoked for everything else, but the thing I'm most curious about is what is that power up she's gonna get? Is it like a new hyper mode? Like, I know I mentioned this in the last one, but I'm really wanting to know what it is. Like, that's the biggest secret they're keeping from us.
It is. That's definitely what they're hiding. Because, like, we've seen Kraid, we've seen probably all the environments at this point, which is kind of disappointing when I say it out loud. But yeah, that's what they're keeping a secret. Is that weird power that takes over her.
Yeah. My theory is either it's got something to do with the SAX or the Metroid DNA, or maybe it's something that the General did to her.
Maybe.
But it happens during their first encounter, so probably not that one.
At first, I thought maybe that was like her abilities being extracted, but then it happens to her in a different place. So maybe there's something that's happening across the games, and it's always at the end of a trailer, so they definitely want you to linger on what's happening there. They want you to wonder. But I don't know what that is for the life of me. All right, I think that's going to be the end for tonight, man.
All right.
Yeah, that has been 4 episodes now, and we have how many days left until we have 22 days, man. 22 days, and then 19 years will have paid off. Think about that.
Be like, finally!
A worthy opponent. It's a meme.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to getting E.M.M.I needles. I'm looking forward to exploring the new territory, getting the new movement mechanics of Samus, finding out what's up with the whole Chozo ZDR thing. I am just looking forward. I literally bought like a bunch of Skittles today and then stored them for October 8th. I literally bought like Kraken dark rum, and I'm saving that for the occasion. Like, I'm preparing for October 8th like it is going to be my final day on Earth.
Oops. Jesus.
I'm ready. My body is ready for Metroid Dread. All right, man. I think that's it for tonight.
Alrighty.
All right. I want to thank you, Phil, for joining me on this journey.
Oh yeah, always a pleasure.
And the Dread mission is going to begin in 22 days.
Yes.
This was Count Lazuli and Phil from 8livesstudios. And we are out.